Look, have mercy on me.
What's up, everybody? I almost headbutted my mic there. That's how
Good
enthusiastic
start.
I am.
Good start, buddy.
I almost chin-butted my mic. But what's up, everybody? Welcome back to On the Bluff. I'm your host, Christian Fowler, co-host Gabe Kuhn. We're officially at our calendar year, episode 52.
We did it. We did it.
Doesn't feel like we've been doing this for a year.
No,
but
I mean, yeah. Time doesn't fly when you're having fun. Isn't that what they say?
Nope. Time,
Not even close.
that is not it.
Time flies when you're
Time
having fun?
flies when you're having fun.
Okay.
Makes a little bit more sense. But anyway, here we are, 52 episodes in. Me and the big fella. What's up, man?
Not that much, man. I'm good. I'm just hanging in there, day by day, week by week, month by month,
So
episode by episode of On the Bluff.
we've got an interesting scenario this week. So we're recording on Tuesday night. We usually record on Monday night. I'm on your radio show every Tuesday.
Yeah, so we're doubling up.
We're doubling up today to intro me into your show on Tuesday afternoon.
How are you going to do this?
You called me
an all-around good guy.
Yeah.
Kenny, is there anything wrong with that, Kenny?
But Kenny, before you speak,
Kenny,
that just didn't sit well with me.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
He's an asshole.
I mean, on the air, I said, like, what do you want me to call you? The guy who wears hoochie daddy shorts all the time? Like, what do you want me to, you wear short wearer.
The ever-present.
Big truck driver.
All around good
Goatee guy.
That's better.
What?
All around good guy.
Are you not? You don't consider yourself an all around good guy?
I mean, I do, but it just felt like so bland.
Okay,
An all-around nothing burger, Christian Fowler.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you so? Why are you so offended? Like, this is the second time I've had to hear about this today.
So why don't you introduce Gabe the way that he introduced you?
Why would I do that? Why would I try to dishearten him?
I would enjoy that. Being called an all around good guy.
You think?
Yeah.
The most meh guy.
Yeah. That's
Would
what
you
that-
like that better?
The most meh guy
I mean,
in
that's
Memphis radio.
basically the same thing.
I mean, that's
Gabe Kuhn.
Yeah.
all around good guy is the same thing as all around meh guy. I don't know if that's
exactly.
That's not how that works, bro.
That's how I viewed it.
Good God.
All around meh.
Mercy me. What did I do? I mean, that's not
put a little flavor on it. Little spice.
like, what kind of flavor do you want? I'll do it next week. You tell me how to introduce you next week on the show.
It's not my job.
No,
It's not my job.
Nope.
It's not my job.
Tell me, bro.
Just you said that earlier. How would you like me to? And I said, hey, I can't tell you what to do. It is your radio show, but I can critique it.
I want you to feel something for Christian, Gabe. I want you to feel something.
Yeah, put a little bit of passion.
Put a little
in
passion into it.
All around good guy.
Oh my God.
That's like what you would say about like your great grandfather. He's just an all around good guy. Like you don't know him, like you see him 3 times a year, and you're like, yeah, he's just an all around
good guy. See, you're just you've taken this to heights and levels that it didn't need to be at.
I've went deep with it.
All right, now while we're on that,
Oh boy. Oh Lord.
today's show is brought to you by Ward Bottled Insanity Premium Smelling Salts. Do you need to be focused? Do you need to be in tune?
Yeah.
Need a bloody nose too. These things are terrible.
Terrible.
Who the? I mean, was it TJ and Trey that brought it in?
Of course they did. Who
What's
else
up
would?
with them, brother? Like,
They're crazy.
I don't get it. I don't understand. This is like I used to do these on the sideline, like the little packets.
Mm-hmm.
This is substantially worse. It says don't put it closer than 6 inches
Yeah.
from your face.
Yeah, and that's huge.
That's insane, dude. I mean, you open it, and you smell the whole thing. 6 inches, you feel all that? Yeah.
That's a big gap.
That is so far. My God.
They might as well tell you to smell it from the other room. 6 inches is huge.
That's a huge gap.
That is a huge gap.
Holy hell, man. But those things are terrible. We did it before the show.
Yeah, if it said 2, I would know that length. But
Are you doing it?
I don't know. Are you gonna do it?
You're doing it. It's open. It's right
Go.
there.
I mean, I'm
Just smell
basically
it. Come on,
doing
do
it right.
Go ahead.
I
Those things are strong. That is strong.
should have shaken it up. Before.
That damn bottle is strong as hell.
You think this is sufficient?
Is that 6 inches? That looks more like 8.
Oh,
Dude, that is not far. Like, how do you even get that from that far? Like,
Yeah, tell me. Oh, you are. That's
That's legend. Oh God. That's
All right, my eyes are watering. We had a strength coach. We had a strength coach in college. I'm not going to name names, but he was super obsessed with the smalts. Like, he loved it before the game. He'd always get, like, a bunch of, like, because they would have, like, a big-ass tub of them. And I'm talking, like, thousands of little packets of the smelling salts. He would get a handful, crack them all, trap them in a Gatorade cup, and, like, shake it up. And then he'd open it up and, like, start sniffing on it. Yeah. And this dude would have a bloody nose by the second quarter every single game. It was the most strange thing ever.
That would do it to you.
No, but it's like, dude, why are you do this every damn week? Why do you giving yourself a bloody nose with smalts? That can't be good for you. That dude's got holes in his brains, man.
That's intense.
Yeah, it is intense. You have some waters coming here.
I know.
You're tearing up, buddy.
Hell,
you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You're an all around good guy. Just remember that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's gonna get me through this. Woo! I'm awake.
Okay. Now, where do we go from here?
I will say that cleans your sinuses out.
Oh, yes. That's why you do it for a football game. Fantastic.
I bet it is.
Fantastic.
So where do we go from that? You would think with that transition we'd have to go to football, but we can't. We can't do it yet.
Okay.
We got to go to basketball.
All right.
Opening game of the season was on Monday night against Jackson State. Memphis did not cover. Hope you did not bet on them because they did not cover.
I was not going to take a 19.5 point spread game.
Won by 17, 94-77 in the FedEx Forum against Jackson State. And this was an all-around good guy type of
sloppy.
Mediocre.
I hope you like them sloppy. Lady, you're scaring us. But I that was sloppy as hell, dude. Yeah. I don't even know how to. First half was just brutal. David Jones looked bad, really bad. And following up those 2 exhibition games like that in the first half was just that threw me for a loop. Starting lineup in general kind of threw me for a loop. You have David Jones, Jaquan Walton, Javon Quinterly, and then Nick Jourdain and Malco. And I don't really know how to read that. What was your read on that? Because I guess maybe I heard some murmurs about Jordan Brown maybe coming in a little overweight when he got here, and Malcolm Dandridge is, from everything I've heard, is working his ass off. Maybe
it was he was in really good shape.
Maybe it was a nod to Malcolm of like, you have worked your absolute tail off, and you've shown a lot of resiliency throughout your career. Yeah. Here you go. You get the first crack at it.
Yeah, let's.
And he was good.
Yeah, he did. So let's spend some time on this starting lineup because I know from a game like this against an inferior opponent, you win. But I feel like we have to say the same stuff all the time, but we have to say it. So I get it. But inferior opponent, first game of the year. There's only so much you can draw from this. You can't draw the conclusions for the whole season from this. So the biggest talking point, arguably, is the starting lineup.
Yeah.
We've talked about the starting lineup since, May, June?
Yeah.
And we had what we thought would be a starting lineup of JQ, Caleb Mills, David Jones, or Jaquan Walton. We weren't fully 100% on that. Nick Jourdain, Jordan Brown.
Penny then comes 2.5 weeks ago and says, Javon Quinterly, Jaquan Walton, David Jones, Caleb Mills, Jordan Brown. Yeah. He said that. And then that's what he thought, like basically the thought was he was running that out for the exhibition games.
Yeah.
And
curveball.
We get to the first real game and he throws in Nick Jourdain and Malco. And I guess the explanation for me is like maybe he's just showing good faith to Malco because Malco's worked his ass off. Like I don't really have a better explanation than that. But I will say this about Penny. He's all when it comes to, especially with lineup decisions and rotations, when you think he's going to do, if you ever think he's going to do what you think he's going to do, like if you ever think you have a good handle on what he's going to do with his rotations,
zag.
You don't.
Yeah.
You just don't. And I set the over-under at 8.5 for different starting lineups this year. You're going over. That's high. It's very high. Very high.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good start. It's a good start. I'll say that. It's a good start.
But I will say I did not hate it.
No.
I did not hate it because a big point of contingency for Penny Hardaway teams have been that the second unit leaves a lot to be desired.
Yep.
Throughout his entire tenure. whether that be because of just depth issues early on or just a lack of offensive talent later in his coaching tenure. So bringing Caleb Mills, who is an experienced player, has done it at multiple spots, can average somewhere between 10 and 15 a game coming off the bench, and then Jordan Brown, Lou Henson Award winner, very, very good big, probably one of the best centers in the country.
Yeah,
really,
100%.
Really.
Yeah.
And so bringing them off the bench, I don't think we'll see Jordan Brown come off the bench all year. That's not. I don't think either one of us believes that. I think there may be some truth to the rumors that we've heard about, him maybe coming in overweight, maybe not being in the best shape, and maybe that has something to do with it. And maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe he's showing good faith to Malcolm for what he's done for this program and throughout the offseason, on top of Jordan Brown maybe not being fully ready for a workload yet. But just in this small one-game sample size, I don't hate bringing players that can score off the bench.
Right.
If you inject Caleb Mills into that lineup and bring Jaquan Walton off the bench, I don't hate that.
No.
At all.
Not at all.
Because if you have scoring punch on the bench coming in your second unit, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, that was the thought process behind leaving one of those guys out, David Jones and Jaquan Walton and Nick Jourdain. That's what we were talking about for the first part of the offseason. That's why you want them in the second group. I even if you played all of your Jordan Brown, he makes an impact on the game in a massive way.
For sure.
And if you want to bring him off the bench, if Malco's going to give you the same type of minutes he gave you in game one and you feel confident in that he's going to give you that consistently, okay, maybe you could bring Jordan Brown off the bench. I just don't think that's how that's ultimately going to go.
I don't
Jordan Brown, I think, was the leading plus-minus player, even though he came off the bench only 21 minutes. He missed those two bunnies to start and then settled in.
Yeah.
And I don't think he played with a whole lot of vigor. I don't think he was as forceful as I've seen him on tape when he was elsewhere. But he still changes the dynamics of this team. You can have a terrible offensive possession, be down to 6 seconds on the shot clock, dump it into him in a one-on-one, go cook, do what you got to do. He's that type of big where I don't know if they've had that really ever. And you could argue Jalen Duren, but it took a while for him to really get that type of offensive back because he was 18 years old, man, ultimately. And he finally got there as the season went on. But Jordan Brown has that experience, and I think he should be starting. I don't know why he's not starting. I don't expect it to hold, though. I think Penny will eventually start Jordan Brown, and it may be as soon as this Friday against Missouri.
Right. So let's transition to that because this is a big game. You get your first game, your cupcake game out of the way. Now you're going to Columbia to take on a really, really solid, not great, but solid Missouri team.
Right.
I think 55th in KenPom right now.
Quad one
game on the road. And questions are going to arise throughout the week of, is this team ready for this jump in competition yet? And that is because this is a very inexperienced team together.
Yeah.
Individually, very, very
And the
experienced
Jackson
team.
State game definitely led you to believe, hey, it wasn't the worst thing you've ever seen, wasn't the best thing you've ever seen. It was somewhere in the middle. And, I can see where some people would have skepticism about what they look like with that stepped-up competition.
Yeah.
If they're ready to have that synergy and meld together on the road in a tough environment. And I see some people that I can see where you'd say, not worried about it. They'll figure it out. They figured it out in the second half.
Right.
Hell, they looked a lot better in the second half. But your guess is as good as mine, brother. I don't have a hardline stance right now on what I expect to see on Friday.
I have a little bit more of one, and we talked about this on your show earlier today. Just taking off of, I don't even want to talk about the players first. Just taking off of Penny Hardaway coach team's track record.
Mm-hmm.
They typically, historically, play up to competition, whether they're the inferior team or not. And we've seen that throughout the last couple of years.
Wins against Houston.
The Alabama game last year. No one expected them to be
Yeah.
quite that competitive and really have a chance down to the
Beat them 2 years ago.
to the last second. Yeah, I mean, and so they have played very well against top competition. And honestly, that's been a pretty hard critique on his teams, is that they kind of leave a little bit to be desired against inferior opponents at times, and then they know when to step up under the lights.
Yeah.
And that's like what they're there for. But regardless, I just feel like with this team, now transition talking about the players, this team with how much experience and age that they have, and knowing the goal that they came here for, and knowing the conference that they play in, with the lack of quality opponents.
This is that first opportunity to boost that resume so I can get to a tournament in my final year of eligibility for a lot of these guys.
Yes. And kind of not fully announce an arrival, because this isn't a top tier team, a top 15, 20 team they're playing.
But Dennis Gates has done a good job.
He has done a very good job, and then you start to get some more eyes on you, because there's a little bit of background hype about this team. But you come out second game of the season, you beat a really good Missouri team, you get a quad 1 win, the chatter's going to start a little bit more. And then you have all these other games coming up where you can get quality wins against better opponents than Missouri. So this could be a tipping point for what the non-conference schedule could be.
Right.
And I just feel like with a team with this many experienced veteran guys, they understand what's in front of them.
Yeah.
And I know
They should.
I know you can't formulate chemistry and all that overnight, but you can be on in a night. Everything can come together in a night if it needs to.
Yes, and I thought in that first half against Jackson State, a little bit of what we were seeing. And you tell me, you can throw this right back at me if you think I'm off. You probably won't, though. But it felt like first game at home in front of the home crowd in Memphis. Maybe you felt like there was inferior competition. I saw a lot of hero ball in the first half, though. Guys trying to go get, like David Jones trying to go test people at the rim and getting shoved away and blocked. Right. And, you just saw a lot of that. And I don't know if against Mizzou they feel like they'll be able to get away with that. And maybe it'll sort of flip on its head and they'll come out strong, come out faster.
Luckily, that didn't really continue.
Yeah, no, they figured it out in the second half.
Because that is something that could worry you. Look, we've got all these star talented players.
For a while there in the first half, before ESPN Plus just crapped out, because ESPN Plus and Bally Sports app are the worst thing ever known to man.
Yeah.
But I was kind of worried about that. I'm like, okay, maybe these guys have more ego than we thought. Maybe they really want to go get their own stats, but then you started to see them settle down and feed hot hands and do what they needed to do.
And also, they don't have their head coach on the sidelines.
That's what I was about to ask you. Does that...
I don't know how much stock to put into that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really don't. It just... I don't know. It's a hard one to pinpoint what that means and what that does. But we know how engaged Penny is, not only just from a schematic standpoint and from a game plan standpoint, but from a relationship with his player standpoint. We saw so much last year of those veteran guys and those big crunch time moments and timeouts. Kendrick Davis and DeAndre Williams were face to face with Penny Hardaway in timeouts, so we know he's super involved. I just don't know how much effect it has on the outcome of a game against Jackson State.
But I think I get your sentiment, though, in sort of in large part. Like you saying, the players are going to be up for this game, ready to go. Because if I'm reading the tea leaves on the way Penny talked about the schedule, he said the out-of-conference schedule is our schedule.
Yeah.
Then he backtracked, no offense to not trying to say we have a bad conference, that whole thing. So I feel like those guys understand. He's been preaching behind closed doors in the practice facility when they're watching film, brother. Hey, we got to get going. There's no time to mesh. We have to be meshed. Because quite frankly, peaking in February for this team and getting into March, nice, is all good and dandy, but what'd you do in December?
Right.
What'd you do in November?
Yeah. What'd you do against?
It's kind of because if you pitter patter around November, December, and then peak in February, that's kind of disastrous considering what's on your schedule and what you're going to have to deal with by the time we actually get there and where your seed line is going to be.
Yeah.
You have to build up to a very high seed line in the early going and out of conference. That's the only way you're staying out of that damn 8-9 game for the third damn straight year. And I don't want to see it again.
No.
You got to see. I mean, hell, Struggle worse so you can get to the damn 10 or 11 line, please.
Yeah.
Like,
Not
but,
the 8,
or go way up, or
Right.
get to 3, 4, 5, 6. Do something like that. But they have to build up that damn resume immediately, so I don't have to see them deal with a 1 seed in the second round if they get out of the first round.
Right. Or a 16 seed.
That'll be pretty hard.
Yeah.
Before y'all move on to, I know y'all have talked about Missouri a little bit, but just go back to the Jackson State game for 1 second. Do you guys not like take a kind of an approach of, yes, they struggled. They probably played to like 50% of their potential in terms of like what they could actually look like. Still scored 94 points.
No, they can score.
100%.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Like Jaquan Walton with the 19, he started 5 for 5. Then David Jones turned it on in the second half, and that's sort of it was Jaquan Walton's first half, David Jones' second half. Guys picked up where others sort of struggled in each half. So no, they have a crazy offensive potential though. Like that, there's no doubt about it. But I on the flip side of that, let's do this defensively.
Left a lot to be desired.
Well, I'll say this: they definitely are. They can be disruptive,
Yeah.
but they need to take less chances, and they need to be a little more disciplined,
Yes.
and
That's where
guarding
I
the
think
floor, guarding other teams.
That's where I think you miss Penny in a game.
I don't disagree with that.
I think that's a good point,
Yeah,
Kenny.
I don't disagree with that.
Because that's
at all.
where he hangs it. But like this team, yeah, we know the offensive potential's there. I guess I get that. These guys have been around a while, understand what's expected of them for the most part. They've done it before. Defensively, I think they almost have as high, if not higher, a potential on the defensive end. They just got to put it together.
Yeah, I don't.
And just
I don't
like
disagree.
be more connected on that end. But that comes with a little bit of seasoning. But you don't have that. I mean, at the end of the day, they just don't have an opportunity to be,
the drag.
well, you can't. You don't have time to just
You really don't
mesh. You just
really
you don't have time. You have to do it on the fly, and you have to hope for the best. Like
Yeah, and if they're gonna do that, they're gonna have to do something that a Penny Hardaway team has never done. Because what have these teams done over the last several years? They've peaked in February, March. That's when they've played their
last
best
2
ball.
years, the two NCAA
The two tournament teams have peaked at the end of the year,
Yeah.
which is good. You want to peak at the end of the year and go
You
into
want to
March.
peak the entire year. You want to just be consistent.
Yeah, and we
But,
know the
like,
roller
again,
coaster that last year was.
It's Memphis, right? You're in the AAC. You don't like Michigan State lost game 1,
Right.
but who gives a damn? They're going to have Big Ten schedule in front of them. They don't
Exactly.
care.
Yeah, it doesn't
They
matter.
shouldn't care. Like you don't have that ability. Like you could. It's cool to peak at the end of the year, but those aren't. Weirdly enough, those are not your most important games.
Yeah,
And everybody thinks, oh, well, win your conference games. No.
and be a 9 seed.
Yeah. If you
be
just
a
want to
Nazi.
win your conference game, sure.
We likened it to FAU because this American is very similar to last year's CUSA. What did FAU do? They went 31-3. I think they lost. What was Ole Miss their only quad 1 opportunity? Maybe
I don't even know.
I don't even know. I don't
Would
even know if they
that
had.
have been
or
quad
Florida?
1? Was that
Ole Miss,
would that be
Florida.
quad 1? Ole
Maybe
Miss
if it was
last year?
no.
Yeah, hell no.
But they lost that game, right? They lost to Ole Miss.
I think so.
They
Yeah.
lost to Ole Miss, yeah.
And Florida. I think that was their
Yeah.
only like 2 basically name brand games. 31-3, ran the conference, 9 seed.
Yeah. There you go.
That's not the position you want to be in.
No.
This is the first year that I feel like Memphis has truly had a chance to up that seed line with non-conference. I know
100%.
they've had a couple of games last year. Bama, A&M. They've had
Well, and it doesn't more of that, like, okay, yes, they've scheduled more quality opponents, and they're in the battle for Atlantis. But isn't more of that, like, I actually feel like they can win these damn games.
That
Like,
too.
When you get into the opportunity, when you have the opportunity to play these out of conference games, you still have to take advantage. I feel like this team is in a better spot to take advantage than any other year.
100%. 100%. If there's a year that Memphis is not going to be an 8 seed or less, up to this point, it is this year.
Yeah.
Everything is in front of them as far as the talent and the schedule. All they got to do is go out there and win games.
Yeah. I mean, but
Simple as
until
that.
I mean, here's the thing: until we see it in action on Friday, I don't think we'll have real answers to how quickly are they going to mesh and how
Yes.
what's it going to look like? Are they going to sort of be working at peak efficiency? Will the turnover woes stop? We won't know until we actually see it.
Yeah, we will next week when we record after that.
As much
game.
as I want to project, I have trouble. I have trouble projecting.
Yeah, we'll get a really good feel, at least for what this early, maybe first 5 or 6 games could look like.
I'm also not going to be like some people I've seen today with the Jackson State game where it's kind of like doom and gloom. Like, it's so sloppy. They look like shit. And you're like, it's okay. It didn't look good. Didn't look bad. Somewhere in the middle. There's a scale here.
Which is about right. That's
and they still won. They won by 16.
Yeah.
17.
17. So thanks. I was told there wouldn't be math.
Sorry. I think yes, it was Jackson State. Jackson State will win the SWAC this year if everything goes the way that. This team was hitting. They're not a bad team.
This guy.
I'm not trying to
Man, come on.
I'm not trying to rose-colored.
Kenny.
I'm not trying to rose-colored glasses.
You're doing it, Kenny. Come on.
They won by 17. They didn't squeak by this team. They beat this team.
But you know what they say, Kenny?
What's that?
Good teams win. Gabe?
Great teams cover.
There you go.
But at the same time, Kenny, come on.
You degenerates.
Come on, brother.
What?
Kenny, you can't. Come on.
What?
You can't rationalize like what we think of this Memphis team, where they should be. You can't rationalize and be like, well, Jackson State has a chance to win the SWAC this year.
Yeah.
No, that's not. I don't care.
I absolutely do not feel the need to rationalize a 17-point win. Like that is not what I'm trying to do.
I know.
What I'm saying is, all I'm saying is that it's not like they played a team that won't win games this year. This team will win games this year.
Okay, yes, but I do think if I, without saying they're going to win the SWAC this year, if I'm rationalizing where some of the struggles may have come from, it's like you have one team who has everybody back from last year's team, no outgoing transfers. That was Jackson State. And you have one team that's just like
Basically
island of misfit toys,
Yeah.
or not so misfit toys on one team,
Yeah.
and they're still trying to figure it out. No continuity. So I guess there's that. But Kenny cracked me up. They're going to win the SWAC this year.
Come on, they're good.
Take them serious.
Yeah.
They should be. If a team wins games, you take them seriously, right? Like they're not going and playing against a team that's going to go 0-33 this year. They're playing a team that's going to win games. That team was making shots. Like they were making good shots. Now, defensively, yes, the Tigers were lazy on defense. They didn't protect the rim whatsoever. The paint was wide open for Jackson State pretty much the entirety of the first half. But they still won the game by 17 points.
I understand.
I'm not.
That's why I said it's not like I see some. I know you've seen it too, Kenny. Like the doom and gloom of like, oh, is this team going to mesh in time for out of conference?
Like,
it's like,
come on,
calm down.
Yeah,
please.
man,
relax.
But people are going to go there.
But either way, Jackson State's winning the SWAC. That's what I.
That's all.
That's what I learned from Kenny. That's what I learned from Kenny.
Memphis will beat at least one conference winning team this year.
They are an all-around really good team.
They are all around really good.
Oh my gosh, Kenny, you just made my night.
Gabe, let's talk a little foosball.
Okay, I like foosball.
Do you?
Yeah,
I noticed. So this is a tough one, and
toughie.
This is a toughie. I just don't really know what to think about this team. I think I know, and I don't think it's that great. But they did win.
Okay,
albeit in a game where 109 points were scored. And Memphis.
Can I say something that cracked me up going
ahead.
into the fourth quarter? You know what the live over-under, the live total was?
What?
118.5.
That's
disgusting.
absurd.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. And they went down at one point in the second half.
Yeah.
45-42.
Yep.
They pulled it out against a tough South Florida team with an experienced quarterback.
They're going to win the SWAC.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stop beating around the bush here. 59-50 win. If you score 59 points and you don't win by double digits, that's not a good sign. True freshman quarterback, threw it all over the yard.
Good old Byron Brown, baby.
Yep. Who has looked talented this year, but
I mean, he's a true freshman quarterback.
He's 18.
Who is literally listed as a dual threat quarterback on
Right.
He's not known for slinging it all around the yard.
He's 18 years old.
He's not known for throwing it for 357 yards and 5 TDs.
And so a win is a win.
They're 7-2, 7-2,
7-2,
7-2.
7-2. But it's kind of fugly right now.
Not all 7-2s are created equal.
They are not.
It's kind of fugly.
My God.
It kind of is.
My God.
Okay, offensively, can we start with a positive here first?
Yeah, let's do it.
Start with a positive. Offensively, this is their peak efficiency, peak performance. I really enjoyed what I saw from them.
Yeah. Their peak,
everything
peak
about it.
efficiency and peak performance, and their quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, and then
Start Tevin Carter.
Hey, I'm waiting on the negatives. Okay. But in that game, 59 points and went up and down the field, consistent as hell, explosive as hell.
plays.
Rock Taylor, Demir Blankenship combined for 300 yards, 2 TDs.
Yep.
Didn't run the ball that well, but they didn't need to. Just sling it all over the yard. Seth Hennigan was phenomenal in my opinion. 23 for 40 isn't the best, but somewhere around 300 some odd yards, 5 TDs. Didn't turn the ball over at all. I thought that was beautiful. I thought one of the coolest things, and I wish we still did our film breakdowns because we would have a great one on this one.
Without a doubt.
Their red zone efficiency was 6 of 7. They scored 6 touchdowns when they got in the red zone. They were 4 of 4 in goal-to-go situations. And the reason that was, maybe you could blame it on USF not being that good on defense. But at the same time, I thought there was some actual innovation from Tim Cramsey in the offensive game plan. Like there was some real stuff going on that impressed me. The naked bootleg from Seth Hennigan from 4 yards out, it's like, oh, wow.
Right.
You guys had the wherewithal to see that their linebackers overcommit, so you're going to roll them out and that no one's going to be there for them, the old Peyton Manning play.
Yep.
And then, I don't know if you've noticed this. I think you have.
Yeah.
They get into this pistol full house set, meaning you have all your big guys in, you have 2 fullbacks on the right and the left of Seth Hennigan, and then Brandon Thomas behind. They motion him to the left of Seth Hennigan. They run it right. That's what they've done since the UAB game. Run it right.
You've seen this. You've
Run
seen
it right.
this. You've seen this.
Run
You've
it
seen
right.
this. Yeah.
Run it right. Run it right. They do the same thing. USF gets their big guys in, and immediately they play fake. Everybody attacks Brandon. They're scared of bully ball. And here's Brendan Doyle literally standing wide open in the end zone. Like there was some actual film study, innovation, different concepts that they threw out there that made them more successful this week. And I, for one, noticed it.
Yeah.
Now,
that's the positive.
Defensively, holy God, what happened? Like, what? I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't even. We talked about it on the air today. Matt Barnes has to be sitting there like, what do I do? Like, what is the plan for me going forward? In the North Texas game, largely all of his DBs in good positions, right? All of his DBs in good positions, just can't make a play on the ball. So, okay, maybe you go back to the drawing board, put him in more zone, try different things. This week, every single time down the field for USF, busted coverage, guys not even near receivers. So you've gotten beat and given up 40-plus points in 2 equally bad ways. And now you just get back to the drawing board. What, like, you said just get in the softest cloud zone known to man and just try to let them dink and dunk all the way down the field, and maybe they'll turn the ball over. I really, it's weird because this defense, I thought, paced the team for the first, and honestly not good teams,
right?
But played pretty well for the first 5-6 games of the year. Yeah. And then it's just all, quite frankly, it's all gone to shit.
Okay, so we know, let's talk about the 2 losses. Let's talk about Missouri and Tulane. We know that the defense didn't necessarily play well in those games. But how do you play better against Missouri and Tulane than you do against North Texas and South Florida?
It makes no earthly sense. None.
Not at all.
None.
Not at all.
And not much pass rush, really, at all.
Not forcing turnovers.
And they had a little bit of that at the beginning of the year. Not forcing turnovers since the UAB game. And maybe they just got all the turnovers they could in the UAB game. And there's none left for the rest of the year. Who knows? But they're just nothing timely about them. They give up big chunk plays.
Missed tackles.
Busted coverages. Not making plays on the ball. I mean, I don't know what to like. I don't know what the fix is. That's a problem. I just don't. I can't really grasp that.
Yeah. No, it makes no sense. And that's what I said earlier today. Like, look.
They have the players, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're...
We've seen these players make plays.
I don't think they're devoid of talent.
No, I don't either. But that's what I say. Sit back in super soft zone, bring 3 and 4 man rushes, and make them go up and down the field. Maybe you get a holding call. Maybe you force a turnover.
Get them behind the chains with a holding call.
Yeah.
There you go. No, it's crazy, though. No, it still just blows me away. They gave up 583 yards. They got outgained by South Florida by 3 yards, 583 to 580. And they're still getting off the field on third down. The 3 for 11 is all USF had. When they get someone to third down, they generally get off the field.
That's just a struggle.
But it's just so strange. It doesn't make sense.
No, not at all.
Like you give up these fat chunk plays, but then when you get to third down, I'm getting off the field.
We're getting off the field. No rhyme or reason at all.
It's just, it's I don't know.
And now, quarterback's day today.
I wish I had an explanation. This is strange. This is like a first.
Yeah.
Like people come to us for answers, and I'm like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
No clue. Seth Hennigan day today. Blake Watson day today. That's tough.
It's very tough, especially considering I'm very wary. How do I put it? I'm very skeptical about Seth playing this week. He got listed as day to day.
Yeah.
But then Ryan closed practice, and he listed Seth and Tevin as oars on the depth chart. So if I'm reading between the lines here, I think he's of the thought process that Tevin will likely start. I don't have full knowledge of that, but you don't close practice and then list somebody as or unless you have a pretty strong possibility he's going to go.
At least at Charlotte.
Yeah, sure.
Like Memphis should still win this game with Tevin Carter at quarterback.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
How do I ask this? Like, what have you heard about Tevin and how he's been progressing? Because I think people I've talked to think they're getting the wrong idea of the way Tevin's progressed. I think Tevin, from what I understand, like the intermediate routes, seeing the whole field, still has a ways to go. Yeah. But when you get him in the run-pass option concepts, when you get his legs working, when you uncork a deep ball, it's almost predetermined. He can put it on the money. Like, there is things he can do. This is not Peter Parrish.
No.
This is not Peter Parrish coming in for Seth Hennigan his true freshman year. Like, Tevin can put the ball on his receivers, get the ball in the hands of the playmakers.
Yeah.
And then he adds an extra dimension with his legs. So, like, I don't know that you need to be all that concerned about Tevin starting against Charlotte. Now, Tevin starting against SMU, whole different conversation. If this is a longer term thing for Seth, then you should be concerned. But I feel like Tevin can be perfectly serviceable against a team like Charlotte.
I think he can handle the reins against Charlotte, and I think you work that quick game. You know he's only reading half the field, or he's only reading one guy. It's a one route. Or
make it easy, a little RPO action.
It's one or the other. I'm either throwing the ball here or I'm handing it off. You let him take some deep shots.
People don't get it twisted. Like this, he has a cannon, and he can put it on the money. He can uncork a deep shot. He really can. And you need to build him in, whether it's skates or Demir. Find a way to build those into the game plan every once in a while.
Yeah, and I mean, if he does...
But you need to build confidence early in the game with any young quarterback.
Screens, RPOs.
That doesn't get to play a lot. Yeah.
Let him get some easy completions. I won't be surprised. Like, if Tevin does start this game, I will not be surprised if he has a very big statistical game. First off, Charlotte sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of it. I mean, that's kind of it. Charlotte kind of sucks.
First off,
last
Charlotte off, Charlotte sucks.
Yeah. But also, Tevin has potential, and like you're saying, he can hit a deep shot, and he's got talented receivers. We've seen with these receivers.
Oh, he is not devoid of talent. Like he checks all the physical boxes without for sure. And I think, like, man, he can definitely sort of put the ball on the money where you need him to put the ball on the money. Like to throw to rock. I'm not going to say it was like elite or anything. But a curl off an RPO right on the guy, like give him a chance.
Right.
Bam, go.
Do that for 4 quarters against Charlotte.
It's not that complicated. Yep. And it's really against Charlotte, that's probably all you need. Little completions like that, where you don't have to read everything out all that much.
As long as the defense doesn't allow 50.
Yeah.
And if they do that against Charlotte,
we have bigger things to talk about.
If they do that against Charlotte,
Dude,
we're not even going to talk about the SMU
I'm just
game.
going to say, if they play defense like they have the past 2 weeks, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not. I'm telling you real. They'll give up 60. They'll give up 62 to SMU.
Yeah, Preston Stone will shred them.
They'll get shredded.
Yeah,
and then they
100%.
can run the ball a little bit too. It's
Yeah.
not like they're going to be completely soft.
No,
But
be bad.
this defense has got to get going, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, if they don't beat SMU, it's all going to be ugly anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Like talking Charlotte, but SMU is like that's the one that matters. That's the one that's been waiting all year.
We can look ahead, by the way. It's okay for us to look ahead.
Yeah,
We just
but
hope the team doesn't look ahead.
We'll wait on it another week. We'll see what this week brings as far as the quarterback and as far as the defense, and then we'll give full, unfiltered, unadulterated thoughts. Unadulterated. Is that dirty? That sounded kind of dirty.
I don't know.
Unadulterated. I think that's right. Is that
Unadulterated?
right?
Is that
Unadulterated?
Dirty ass.
I think that's
Yeah.
right.
Sounds like it was like what was it, the Girls Gone Wild things that came on like TBS late at night when we were kids?
Yeah.
You got super excited when those came on TV, didn't you? Look at you.
You're such a fool, dude.
Weirdly enough, complete sidebar.
Okay.
The guy who ran Girls Gone Wild,
Oh,
I'm not totally positive.
I've seen the doc.
You have?
Yeah.
I'm not totally positive he's on the run, and he's not on the run, but he lives where does he live? Mexico, or
Yeah,
does
I
he
think
live?
so. Or
He lives in a foreign
Colombia or
country. Yeah,
something
he
like
lives
that.
in a foreign country, so he can't get arrested for his crimes of it's like fraud and a bunch of other.
Do you ever
Nonsense.
remember things and go, why does my brain have that in the crevices of my in
Well,
the
because
memory bank?
yes, for sure, but because
literally every day.
Because I haven't thought about Girls Gone Wild in 2 decades probably. But it's Joe Francis is the guy's name.
Joe Francis, yep, that's a guy.
This guy.
Psychopath.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Why do I remember that name, Gabe?
You have a deep tie to Girls Gone Wild.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Does he have some tapes in the attic
think
at
he
the folks' house?
I think he does. There's no way you would just know that name off the top of your dome.
So he's got like the spring break edition and everything. Kenny is
guess.
sick.
I guess.
He is sick.
Yeah, he is sick, and unfortunately, we're gonna have to turn it over to him. After that, Lord knows where his head is right now.
That's a good point. It's a great
His head is swimming.
fine point.
His head is currently swimming in black bar covered breast.
Yes.
Which is unfortunate for all of us. So
Yes.
we're gonna take a quick break. On the other side, we will see what Kenny's wandering brain has for us in the Hot 3.
TJ, was this a wake-up call? I'm nervous by that question. I'm not going to lie. We prepared for this.
What are you doing?
We also need a little wake-up call, don't you think?
Great heavens. What does that say?
These are smelling salts. This is called bottled insanity.
It still sucks.
Still sucks.
You're very familiar with the fart spray. First time I ordered that and it got to the house, I unscrewed the cap and sniffed it alone in my kitchen, and I woke up about 15 minutes later and I didn't know what happened. Energy, focus, and strength. I'm absolutely.
I'm going to go to a little clinic after this.
I can't do it.
Just do it. You need a wake-up call. I think this was a wake-up call. Do you shake it up? How are you doing that?
That's not. Nothing's happening.
Can you breathe?
I mean, I don't understand.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Something I'm observing, I definitely noticed that the offense doesn't look right.
I get the open 3-point shots, and you figure when Ja's here, your offense will look better, but it just doesn't look good with what we've got now because it's like I said, it's creating the coffin corner three for Xavier Tillman, and it's just not hitting right, man. You know what I mean? So
it sucks.
It's ass. Sucks. Yeah, I don't like
the worst.
It. Yeah, I just don't like it at all. It's making David Riley open the line. I'm like, man, all right, man.
Why? So there's no flow in offense. Like you need flow on both sides of the ball, which is defensive and offense. One has to create flow for the other, depending on what type of team you are. Right now, the defensive end is hurting because of the flow of the offensive end, in my opinion. Yeah. There has to be some motion to the bucket. I hope that changes. But if it doesn't, I would be a 10 out of 10 frustrated.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Bluff City Media and Bluff City NIL are proud partners of Coaching for Literacy, a Memphis nonprofit using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. When you donate to Bluff City NIL through Coaching for Literacy, your gift is 100% tax deductible. This partnership is a win-win-win. Tiger student athletes win in the NIL landscape. Coaching for Literacy wins by engaging Tiger student athletes in this monumental cause. And most importantly, elementary students in Memphis receive support to become strong readers. To donate today, visit coachingforliteracy.org/bluff-city. Discover a world of possibilities at Streetcars of Memphis. Revamp your ride with the ultimate auto transformation. From booming audio systems to eye-catching wheels, powerful lift kits to sleek drop kits, cutting-edge LED lights and light bars, we've got it all. Unleash your style with confidence. Feel the next level of auto care at Streetcars of Memphis. Your dream ride is just a visit away. Visit us online at www.901scm.com and let the transformation begin. I just want y'all to know.
Yes.
What?
Y'all are haters in every way.
Every way. What makes this fun?
In every way. This is the Hot Three. We're back.
I'm not a hater.
No, you're not a hater.
I'm a lover.
You are.
I love you, Kenny. I don't know if I tell you.
Lover, not a fighter.
Oh, if I keep hitting these smelling salts,
Are you going to pass out?
I'm going to look like somebody's creepy uncle leaving
Christian's addicted to smalts now.
Leaving a bathroom stall at a bar at 3 a.m.
What a description. Because I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know you do.
Sir, why are your feet pointed away from the toilet?
Yeah. I dropped my phone.
Oh, man, this is the Hot Three, sponsored by Streetcars of Memphis. The weather is schizophrenic, right? It's either cold or it's hot. I've been wearing hoodies because I'm hoodie season and it's 85 degrees outside. My car was all ready to go for the wintertime. And it is damn summer again.
It is 80 degrees.
It has been hot. But Streetcars of Memphis can get your car right, man. They can do just the daily driver type stuff that you need done. They can change your oil. They can rotate, balance your tires. They can do all those kinds of things. Any little fixes you need on your car. If it's messing up, they can fix it for you. But they can also pimp that ride, baby. They can also do anything that you want to make your ride the cleanest in Memphis so that it can get stolen.
All right.
Dang.
I'm just joking.
You're out of your mind right now. You might be schizophrenic, brother.
That was
And I don't think schizophrenic is the mental disorder you're looking for.
Is that not it? It's bipolar.
You're going.
Is it bipolar?
You meant
I've
bipolar.
never heard the weather be called schizophrenic, but I kind of like it.
Okay, cool.
I don't hate
It kind of works. It kind of works.
Kind of works. But hey, listen.
Until you think about it, then you're like, no, I don't know
wrong.
if that makes sense.
901 Streetcars of Memphis, 901 scom.com. Check it out. Go see them. See what they got. Get your car
Where's that link
fixed
at, Kenny?
up. It is in either the bio or the description.
The description.
The description. Thank you.
baby.
Thank you. Big shout out to Streetcars of Memphis. Guys, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm about
Absolutely.
to get ready.
That was like chorusy, guys. That sounded great.
Well, he's shaking the smalts just so he can. What is he doing?
What is he doing?
Are you addicted?
He's addicted. Y'all crazy.
He's addicted.
All I know is when we came in today, I was like, Christian, you got to try this.
I
He's like,
don't
no,
want it right now,
no.
dude. I don't want the small. He's offering me
It's a
smalts
bit.
right now.
It's a bit. It's a bit. It's
Okay.
A bit.
And now
well,
he's
except
snort-
it's a bit.
It's a
Except your
bit.
eyes are watering.
It's a bit.
Holy God!
All
dude.
right, as you were tweaking off your smelling
yeah.
salts, let's go to topic number 1.
All right.
College football.
Okay.
Run with it.
All right. we had a plan.
I love that setup.
Yeah, I do too. It's
Thank you.
perfect for me and Gabe. We had a plan.
Kind of dangerous. It'll take
It
like
is. It is very
It'll be like an
dangerous.
hour and a half
Yeah.
later.
We had a little bit of an idea of what we were going to talk about beforehand, but we just got into kind of a little discussion, debate off camera in between takes about are there any good teams
In college
football this year?
Because according to Christian, everybody's terrible.
No,
I gave you a list.
You know, good
Okay,
teams,
okay.
of course.
Wait,
Elite
wait, wait.
teams.
Before
like
you start, is this the least amount of parity that you've seen in a college, or most amount of parity, whatever way that's supposed to go?
Most parity.
Most parity.
It's somewhere in between. It's sort of regular to me because, like, at the end of the day, we could very much end up with, you know,
Ohio
Michigan,
State,
Alabama, Georgia, Florida State. Like, you expect those teams to be there.
But I just mean the gap, especially in recent memory.
The gap of, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like just keeping going down through the top 25. Yes, there's less gap in between every single team.
Yeah.
But I still think there's a gap between, you know, the top 6 and, you know, teams that'll be right there in the top 20. I still think there's a pretty substantial gap. But, I mean, if I'm going with good teams, I think you put Georgia, Michigan there.
For sure.
Weirdly,
I would say
like,
those are
Ohio
locked.
State is a good team without question, but like I don't know about offensively if I'm really bought in. Marvin Harrison Jr. makes me get there, but Kyle McCord.
Does he get you there?
Are you doing a pause? Are you doing a pause right now? You're doing a pause.
I mean-
But Kyle McCord, not quite. You know, doesn't get me there.
Pause.
But then Washington, undefeated, kind of have to give them the benefit of the doubt. But like 3 weeks in a row, you had real close shave against Arizona State, real close shave against Stanford, and then a 10-point win
Against USC.
against USC at USC. And I don't think USC is worth a damn. And Alex Grinch got
Oh, they
fired.
finally fired Alex
Yeah.
Grinch. Oh, you're not that high.
So I'll give Washington-
so much talk about that, and you're not excited.
Alabama, Texas. Yeah,
Texas.
I hate to say it, Oregon. Well, not with Malik Murphy, but with Quinn Ewers. But they have
Get
Malik
Texas.
Murphy now.
Texas is out of there.
Oregon is that team where I'm like, I'm leaning either way because I just saw the college football playoff rankings. And you have Alabama below Oregon, and I don't know how that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't
Like if we're going by metrics, they've lost a game to Washington. Their best win is Utah without freaking
Cam Rising.
Cam Rising, or is it Brant Keife, the
Brant,
really good
yeah.
tight end. And their second best wins against Colorado.
Right.
And then, like, I look at Alabama, they've already beat Ole Miss,
Tennessee.
and there's
LSU.
one more, LSU. It's like, I what are we looking at
That's
here,
three.
guys?
That's 3 teams I think that have been in the top 10
Yeah,
at
it's like,
some
what-
point
what-
this year. Am I
Yeah,
right? I
yeah.
think Tennessee was preseason either
Yes.
top 10 or 12. Ole Miss was 10.
They're 9 this week in the college
9
football
now.
playoff.
And LSU, I want to say they were preseason top 5.
Yeah, it's like they were 5 to
Five,
start the
yeah.
season in the AP poll. I don't know what I'm looking at this
Yeah,
point.
I agree.
Like, I don't know how Oregon gets to jump them. But honestly, I don't really worry about it because the Pac-12 is going to eat itself.
Yeah.
Now, you want to bring up Alex Grinch? You want to do that with USC?
Yeah, I want.
Fired his ass.
There
Get
you
his
go.
ass out of there.
There you go.
He's been trash. He's been terrible.
Since Oklahoma.
He's been miserable. And you know what pisses me off? People have this like thought process that Oklahoma never had defensive pieces. They've had dudes, man.
Yeah.
Nick Bonito is a great edge rusher with the Broncos, that
Broncos.
people don't want to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Ronnie Perkins is another guy on that roster that's an edge rusher. You had Kenneth Murray,
Yep.
who I don't think's any good in the NFL, but damn, he was a hell of a
He's been pretty good this year.
He's
been better.
I mean, it's like, you know,
Yeah, I got you.
it's not saying much. I ain't saying much.
No.
But he always had some dudes. And then this year, you go to the transfer portal, get your NIL bags all figured out. You bring in Bear Alexander, who is probably going to start at Georgia this year.
Yep.
And, I mean, you bring in other guys along the front. You have some secondary transfer portal additions. And it's just it's worse than it ever has been. And it's just like, finally, Lincoln Riley, get rid of this.
Finally.
This guy, I mean, this just miserable defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
This guy that could, what I'm trying to say is this guy that has inhibited your ability to be a
successful
college football playoff
Yeah.
viable option.
Yep.
It's just, I don't know how it took this long.
Yeah. And it comes on the heels of Washington dropping 52
at your place.
and Dylan Johnson running for 56 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Hey, at least Alex Grinch gave us his best work
Yeah.
before he got canned. That's well done.
Big round of applause.
That's what you need. But I was thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
You're familiar with Jim Leonard, right? For Wisconsin
yeah.
D coordinator. He's an analyst at Illinois.
Yeah.
If I'm Lincoln Riley, I call him immediately.
That's where you're going.
Oh, right of first refusal, brother. If you don't want it, you don't want it. But you're our guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call anybody else. You're
Yeah.
going to the Big Ten. He coached, I think, 3 top 10 defenses from a yards per game standpoint, 2 top 5 defenses, and what am I talking about? I think it's 4 out of his 5 years he had top 10 defenses, and 1 was number 1 overall in yards allowed per game.
When was he there?
17 to 22. He was done with Chris when Chris got fired.
Yeah.
But call that dude. You're going to the Big Ten. You need some edge about you. You need someone to coach your defense. That's the guy you call.
Yeah. You want a Wisconsin type defense.
Because they originally thought he was going to take over for Chris when Chris got canned, but obviously you get Fickle. Luke Fickle got there. That's
all that
been
goes
higher.
away.
Yeah. And now he's a damn analyst at Illinois. You know he's looking for another job. He's
Without
only,
a doubt.
I think he's like 40, 41, something like that. Hire his ass.
There you go. There's
That's
your
the
fix.
guy. That's the guy.
There's your fix.
That would be a home run hire.
I agree. It's beautiful. All right, Kenny, number 2.
Number 2, UFC 295 was shaping up to be the return of John Jones. Well, not really return. He's returned last fight, but him coming back and fighting against Stipe Miocic is going to be a badass fight. Actually, really the return of Stipe Miocic, really.
Yeah, for real.
John tore his shoulder up, which was weird. Did y'all
He tore his pec.
was it his pec?
Yeah, he tore his pec.
That video was crazy,
Well,
right?
it was weird. I think John Jones must have posted that, but like I thought it was very weird that Dana White, when he was announcing it, posted it out. It's like I don't want to. It's not like you can see anything, but it's like I don't want to see the moment he tore his pec off his damn.
Right.
Like I don't want to see that.
Do y'all think that Dana did that to stave off any of the
Yes, 100%.
John is drugged up?
Yes.
Yes,
Without a doubt.
100%. But I still think it's a weird play.
Yeah.
Very weird play to me, but I get why he did it.
I do
So obviously he's going to be out for a long time. Dana has said they are going to wait. Steve Miocic is going to wait to fight John Jones.
As he should.
But they have elevated the co-main event. Yuri Prohaska is coming back from a shoulder injury to fight Alex Pajeda.
There
how do you
go.
say? Is that how you say it?
Pajeda.
Man, for the vacant light heavyweight championship, and then the co-main event will be Tom Aspinall versus Sergey. What's his last name, Gabe? Pavlovich. Yes, for the interim heavyweight championship. Still a awesome fight card. I mean, the main event's going to be great. But what are your guys' thoughts on 295 as a whole?
So sad.
Yeah, that's just a bummer.
So sad.
We don't get to see John Jones, the GOAT. I mean, I'm bummed.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm bummed. All right, next. I'm just kidding. But no, I do. I told you guys this before the show. Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Pavlovich for like any type of title just feels kind of.
Yeah.
They're good fighters.
Yeah.
They're good
You're right.
fighters, but like
they're
not
all around good
to
guys.
me, they're not belt holders, brother. Like they're not belt
They're all
holders.
around good guys.
They are all around good guys for the most part. Well, actually, I don't know. They do beat each other's face to a bloody pulp.
true.
So I don't know how good of a guy you can be.
Yeah.
Although there are good guys in the UFC. But I am excited for Yuri versus Pajeda.
Yeah,
That is exciting. That is going to be. I mean, Yuri he's a wild man, and we know Pereira can strike his ass. So this is going to be a really fun on the feet.
No, that
brawl.
is a fight of the year candidate
Yeah,
for sure.
It's been a while since we've seen him fight, and the UFC released the Dominic Reyes and the Glover Teixeira fight
On YouTube.
Yeah, and I rewatched those this week, and my God,
He
insane.
murdered Dominic Reyes.
Yeah, but Glover Teixeira was
that fight.
was
Hail Mary.
wild.
That was
Dude,
Hail
that
Mary
fight was
sub.
unbelievable.
It was a really good fight.
Glover
jumped
would have
on his
won that
back.
fight if he hadn't
Taking his back.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
crazy.
What else is on that card? You got it.
Andrade and Dern.
It's a good fight.
Matt Frivola and Benoit.
It's a good
Saint
fight.
I like
Denis.
Matt Frivola.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
good.
Pat Sabatini and Diego Lopez. And is he old at this point?
He's a
Oh,
wrestler.
He's 32. Okay. I feel like
Yeah.
he's been.
So it is a
around a
good
while.
card, but losing Jones. is-
Quite frankly, it's going to kill the pay-per-view
Yeah.
numbers. It will.
Yeah.
Only because quite frankly, Pereira and Yuri, if you are a UFC fan, you will buy the card literally
For that
for
fight.
that,
For that
fight.
fight,
You will.
yes.
Yep.
But like casual fans aren't
No.
buying. They don't know those names, but those guys are two of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC. Like I'll buy this card strictly
watch
for that
them.
fight and those two guys. But if John Jones is on the card, I don't give a damn who he's fighting.
Yep, you buy it.
Buy it
Instant.
immediately.
Auto buy.
Everyone buys it.
Auto buy.
All right, so real quick before we move on past this topic, how does, for all of our avid UFC fans, how does Alex Pereira win that fight?
Left hand to the
Yeah.
jaw.
I mean,
How does Alex Pereira
kinda-
win any fight?
I kind of feel like both guys just land a bomb,
Yeah.
knock the other guy out.
I
right?
mean, to me,
Okay, let's say it went 5 rounds. Who's winning that fight? Let's just for the sake of argument.
if it goes,
If it
distance,
were to go the distance, who's winning?
Got to
that
be
fight?
Yuri,
I
right?
would say Yuri.
Yeah.
I would say Yuri's. He's just so active. But I think Yuri's such a wild man that
He could expose himself?
He's gonna be exposed. I mean, he's shown in the past he can be hit. Like he's not some unhittable guy. Like
Because
he-
Dominic Reyes pieced him up, man.
Yeah.
Every time they
that was a war. It
Every
was only like a
time.
round and a half, but it was an absolute war.
yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like Alex will finish him.
Oh,
But-
you do.
Yeah. I just think his power is
Wow.
too much, and I think Yuri's going to leave himself open. But at the same time, we haven't seen Yuri, and I think we're around a year
Around a
at
year.
this point.
Yeah.
And so he's progressed throughout his career and looked cleaner and cleaner pretty much throughout. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how he fights. I mean, if he's super reckless the whole time, odds are 25 minutes with a guy that
Pereira's
has
gonna
stone
get- yeah.
hands, he's gonna find
Gonna
it.
get you.
He's gonna find the chin. But Yuri could knock him out too. Like same thing. Alex has been knocked out. Like he's not some invincible guy.
I don't think it's a 5-round fight. I'll say that right now.
it's hard to see that.
But like if you're asking like how each guy wins, just land a bomb. There
Land
you
a
go.
bomb. That's what they do.
This is the type of fight that people love. Okay,
Yeah.
The likelihood of you seeing a knockout
It's high.
it's very high.
Yeah, and it's not going to be an inactive fight. There will be
Right.
a lot of strikes thrown. in
I
this
just get
fight.
the gut feeling that we're going to see Yuri try to grapple him a lot. I really do.
I think that. Well, I don't know about a lot. I think it may be a change of pace
Right.
because you don't want to
Mix it in.
stand. You don't want to. You don't want to stand on your feet with
Yeah.
Pereira for 5 rounds.
But Yuri's just not one of those dudes that's going to back
No, he's
down.
not gonna- What, say it
He's just
again?
not going to back down.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to
Well-
be. He's not going to be scared to stand with anybody.
But at the same time, like I think he'll get some. I think he'll maybe try to aim for a little bit of grappling, get him in the clinch, try to do those things.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's like as versed as he's not versed enough to like really dominate Alex Pereira in that realm.
But I think he can make him very uncomfortable
yes,
because
but like it's a change of pace because Alex Pereira's he's never going to engage any type of grapple.
No.
Like he's
Eh.
never going to go clinch you and do all the unless he feels like you're backed up. and
right.
you're
But
in
think
a bad
about how
spot.
him and Izzy fought in those two fights. A kickboxing match. You
Yeah.
stay on the outside, you land kicks, you get inside when you can. Yuri does not have any rhyme or reason, and he will stay in your face the entire fight. So I think he could definitely make Alex Pereira uncomfortable. Because Alex isn't used to someone just being in his face and being there and not
Jumping
staying on
and
the outside.
hopping and all the stuff that he does.
And not being
yeah.
able to land those leg kicks over and over. And if Yuri's inside in the clinch, on the fence, making it dirty, like that's going to make Alex very uncomfortable. And Alex has been fighting smaller guys.
Yes.
Yuri
Yeah.
is not
I
a
think
small
that's
guy.
huge. I think that's a huge deal.
Yuri is massive.
Yeah.
So,
I just think that with the way Yuri fights, you think his hands are going to be down this fight, or do you think he's going to come up with a guard?
probably be down. That's just the way that
That's
he
just
fights.
the way he fights, right?
It's just his style.
He's going to get caught, I think. I think
that's
he's
what I
going to
think,
get caught.
All right, last one to
All right.
close us out, Kenny.
Number 3, NFL football.
NFL football. Can I start with
And
one
go.
thing?
Yeah.
And go.
One, your Cowboys. Tell people to stop talking about Dak after that game. What was that about? Why are people going after Dak?
Like the one person who doesn't
The one
deserve
person
blame.
who balled in
Yeah.
that game and like did everything, put everything on the line, comes up a little bit short, falls, foot goes out of bounds.
Yeah.
Threw the ball to the goal line. Who was that?
Luke
Schoonmaker,
Schoonmaker,
or whatever. If he just tucks it into his right hand, it's a touchdown. But he sort of
or gets deeper on his route. Yeah.
that whole thing. So that was weird. But I know we don't talk a lot of Atlanta Falcons, but I feel like I have to bring this up. But John Robinson has not been getting enough touches.
Yeah.
He has especially in goal line work. Arthur Smith's given it all to Tyler Algier, who's a good running back, ran for 1,000 yards last year in his rookie season. But it's John Robinson. He's the 8th overall pick.
Right.
And there's been this ongoing discussion about, give Bajan some goal line carries, some red zone work. Just give him more work in general because he only has 2 carries inside the 10 and 1 carry inside the 5. They give it all to Tyler Algier. So when Arthur Smith was asked the question, Arthur Smith basically responded by saying sometimes his impact away from the ball can open things up.
As a shooting guard.
This isn't basketball, bro. Like, what are we doing?
His off-ball movement.
Yeah.
He's a running back. Name one running back.
Who's better without the ball in their hands.
Exactly.
None.
Name one running back that became a star by not having the ball in their hands.
Can't
Go.
do it. Can't do it.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. That's bad.
And then also the other thing that pisses me off is Arthur Smith, okay, Fred Smith's son, but I'm not going to take it lightly. He talks to everyone like they're a dog, he talks down to everybody in his pressers when he's the one that has the genius idea to not run and give the ball to his 8th overall pick.
right.
A running back in a devalued era.
Hey, his 8th overall pick, his other, I think, 8th
overall
overall pick,
Drake London,
and his 4th overall pick.
They have 6 touchdowns through 9 games combined.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts, Drake London,
Bijan.
Bijan Robinson. He's giving freaking Jonnu Smith end arounds on the goal line
At the
and
2.
not handing it off to Bijan Robinson. And, the question you'd ask is like, okay, well, how is Bijan Robinson in short yardage? How is he in short yardage? When you get down to the goal line, that could be a,
Right.
good view of
Is
how
Arthur
he
Smith
would
on
fare
to
there.
something, basically?
How would he fare down there?
Right. Is Algier better?
In 3rd and 4th and 3 situations to go get a first down, short yardage situations, Tyler Algier's averaging 2.3 yards per carry. Bad, really bad. But John Robinson's averaging 5.7 yards per carry. So, he's not running him, even though he has not just his eyeballs that should work,
Yeah.
but he has the metrics to back up the fact that Bajan is better in that situation, and he still won't do it. And then he's like, well, he's better off the ball.
Right.
It's like, it's football, bro.
Right.
He's a running back. Give him the ball.
Yeah. I mean,
Feed him.
When you think about it, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London, they're all better as decoys to open up the field for Jonnu Smith, Tyler Algier,
Who
Daryl
else?
Hodge, and Matt Collins.
Yes, Matt Collins.
It's
Forgot
genius.
about Matt Collins. Yeah,
It's
perfect.
genius.
Perfect.
Arthur Smith is smarter than all of them.
Dude, he's great.
And he shaved his mustache today.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He shaved the mustache, and everybody was like, shaved his mustache so people would stop asking questions about other stuff and ask him about his mustache.
Well, his mustache is kind of it's a thick thing.
Yeah, it's going
Thick.
now. Let's do one more topic and then get out of here on this. I have something that I want to talk about. You got yours out of the way. I want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. I know there's a lot of different areas we could go with this. We could talk about the Bills. We could talk about the Chiefs, the Dolphins, Cowboys, the Eagles. But I really want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals because guess what, Gabe? they're doing that thing again. The same exact thing they did last year, and I know circumstances were different this year. But they started off the season last year coming off the Super Bowl loss to the Rams, 0-2. Offense was atrocious. Defense wasn't playing very well either. And they kind of picked it up and ran the table. This year, did not look pretty early on. The worst offense in the league. One of the top three.
They were awful.
Top three worst offenses in the league through the first several weeks.
And I'll let you keep going, but I think that Browns offense or that Browns defense just like hit them in the mouth the first week, and they just didn't recover for like they were just kind of out of sorts.
Yeah,
lost a little confidence. But keep going.
I think this shows us that sometimes we overreact a little bit too much early in the season.
Yeah,
because it looks terrible, and we know that Joe Burrow was dealing with an injury, and we knew that throughout the year that it would progressively get better. And that once he healed or began to get closer to 100%, they would at least have a better chance. Well, the last 2 weeks, I could make an argument they've been the best team in the NFL.
I mean,
they beat the Buffalo Bills. They beat the San Francisco 49ers, both handily.
You want to date it back before the bye week? They beat the Seattle Seahawks, who are not a joke.
Right.
And they beat them in like a little defensive battle.
Right.
So it's like I remember early in the season, you see the loss against the Browns, loss against the Ravens. They started 1-3 after getting hammered by the Titans. And you started looking at their schedule, and you're like, oh, shit.
You're right.
Like,
it's about to heat up.
No, Seahawks at 49ers, then Bills. They have if they're not winning these games, they have no chance. And they have gone
1-4
4 straight wins, Cardinals, Seahawks, 49ers, Bills. And, I mean, they do look like the best team in football right now. And I think also – on the flip side of that, the team they just beat in the Bills, they're 5-4. They're third technically.
Yep.
Because of tiebreakers in the AFC East.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened?
It's wild.
That's brutal.
It's the game we.
And then all the nerds are talking about, well, they lead the league in EPA per play. They lead the league. Who gives a damn? They're 5-4.
Yeah.
Like, stop telling me that.
Yeah.
Who gives a damn? But no, you're honest. I mean, the Bengals are phenomenal. Another team that people aren't talking about, man, quietly 7-2, believe it or not, the Ravens.
Yeah.
And they haven't done it in like the most pretty way. I think the win over the Lions was pretty, 38-6.
The win over Seattle this past week.
No, pretty.
37-3.
That's pretty. That's pretty.
Interesting little fact. So their point differential this league, they are plus 122.
That's pretty good.
Nobody else is over plus 80.
That's pretty good. But no, the Ravens are quietly 7-2, and people need to start paying attention. And if I'm reading through the lines, you just talk about the Bengals and the Ravens. AFC North is
You know how many teams they have in the playoffs right now?
pretty damn good. Not all four. Is it all four?
All four.
Yeah, because the Steelers are 5-3 too.
Steelers.
How the hell are the Steelers 5-3? Speaking of which,
Defense.
it's just Mike Tomlin and just
Steelers.
culture.
Yeah. Steelers, Browns, Ravens, Bengals, all four teams currently in the playoffs. If they started today.
I know it's kind of weird to me. Yeah, Bengals are scary. Ravens are scary. Browns could be a scary team if Deshaun Watson starts playing some ball.
If he played,
and he was decent this past week.
He was. He probably played his best game as a Brown.
Well,
as a Brown.
Who did he?
As a Brown.
Who did he play earlier in the year where he had 283 and two?
It was
tugs?
week. I think it was week 1.
It was before he got hurt.
I think it was week 1.
It was right before he got hurt. It was a game before when he got hurt and then didn't play after that.
I don't know.
But either way, he's had some. He's had some better games than.
But he
people
looked.
give him credit
he
for.
looked really good this past.
But if he
It
can
was
play like
against the
that
Cardinals.
consistently,
Yeah, because that defense is
scary.
very, very good.
And they have a built-in run game with that offensive line. Although Jed Wills just got hurt.
Yeah, and they did not run the ball well this
But-
week against the Cardinals. 2.6 yards per carry.
But either way, I mean that could be a scary team in the playoffs. I keep banging that drum
Yeah.
because that defense is just terrifyingly good.
Yep. All right. Well, let's.
Well, hold on. Before we move on,
Sorry.
I got one more topic for you. Because this podcast is hosted in the state of Memphis, we're pretty close to the state of Tennessee and
Oh, yeah,
Nashville.
this is-
We're,
I know where you're
we're
going
in the
with
state
this.
of Tennessee.
State of Memphis.
Will Levis.
Will Levis has been named the starter for the Tennessee Titans. Christian Fowler, do you want to apologize for your slander?
Okay, whoa, 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 whoa,
That was a lot of woes.
whoa. Everyone needs to apologize for their slander. No one liked Will Levis out of college. Get the hell out of here.
I'm still not apologizing for anything.
No one has to apologize for a damn thing, okay? Because the film was the film.
Hey, time out. Why are we apologizing? He started one game.
2.
No.
Oh, yeah,
he did not start that game.
Okay.
He started one game.
No, did he not?
No, he didn't start. Malik Willis started that game. No, Malik Willis started 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
regardless.
but okay, you're getting technicalities because he played like the whole game.
Okay, he started 2 games. He lost to the Steelers, and it didn't look good. So what are we talking about?
Come on.
And
Don't be that way.
they're naming him the starter because they have no hope.
That's well, because
Derrick Henry's gone after this year.
Really
Ryan Tannehill's gone after this year. Why would they not start?
No,
Will
you're correct on that. But no, Will Levis.
Has he been better than I thought?
I'm not counting out the fact that they may have something in Will Levis.
Me neither. Has he looked better than I expected?
Of course.
Yes. But I'm not apologizing for a guy that started 2 games.
Hey, Pat McAfee came out today and said that the Titans have found their next quarterback for the following 10 years. For 10 years.
Pat McAfee, yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah, yeah.
He played with Peyton.
Oh, God. Come on, Pat McAfee is not like a quarterback whisperer, okay? He punted.
Yeah, no.
I like Pat McAfee, but come on.
If I had to put my money on it, I would say Will Levis will not be the Titans quarterback for 10 years. I'd put a lot of money on
even
that.
against the Steelers, I thought he was at least showed some promise. Yeah. The only thing, his O-line sucks. Sucks.
It's the 32nd ranked in the league.
And then also, the only thing that really disappointed me about that performance, that 2-minute drill was shit.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
He should have thrown
and
3.
People got mad at me for saying that. I don't give a damn. He looked good up until that point. That was awful execution.
There was 2 dropped interceptions.
2 dropped, then he threw a third.
Ended in an
because
interception.
he trusts his arm talent
too much. That's always been his problem.
Yeah.
He trusts his arm talent too much. If you put pressure on him, he falls apart.
But I don't know. I mean, he stuck in there against that Steelers. His tackles had 0 shot.
They had 3
of blocking T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith that entire game.
And I think
he got nailed.
I think they
several
had 3
times.
offensive linemen go down in that game also.
That's what impressed me because the stats weren't like crazy. That's what impressed me about him.
He hung in there.
He got smacked around back there, and he got up and he still had command and he kept them in the ball game, had them with a lead. That second to last drive, he didn't force anything because he knew they had the lead. So I was just like, man, he's playing just more poised and more with more command than any quarterback they have on the roster right this second, and with it's probably more command and poise than I saw throughout his really in his college career.
100%. Yeah, he never looked that good in his college career. All right, we got to wrap this up. How long have we went for? Like an hour and 40 minutes? Good Lord.
Yep. Thanks for sticking around.
This is what happens when we have basketball back.
Yep.
A lot to talk about. All right, well, we appreciate you guys for joining us. If you are watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. You can also listen to this wherever you get your podcasts. You can do all the same stuff there. I think it always confuses me, but I'll still say it every week. You can at least subscribe. We definitely subscribe. We definitely locked that down last week. You can subscribe and you can leave a review.
Guess what? We are down to 60% of our views on YouTube.
So people listened?
The people listen to you, Gabe.
So wasn't it? That number was way higher.
It was like 85% like 2 weeks ago, and now it's 60.
Well done, all you out there. Well done.
Now go do it again. If you're watching this,
if you're a part of that 60%,
hit that
Keep
button.
it up.
Hit that subscribe.
Man.
Keep it up.
Ain't that complicated.
All right, we appreciate you guys for joining us, and we will see you back here next week.
Thank you for listening to On the Bluff. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports and how you can become an insider.